Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper. Today I'll be doing my top 5 least favourite Gigantamax Pokemon. Now, with Gigantamax and Dynamaxing, I feel like that's an interesting concept, I would say. And I do like how it helps you with battles, kind of like how Z moves and Mega Evolution were in both when they released for their respective games. So Z moves for Sun and Moon, and Mega Evolution for X and Y. And with Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, they are fun, and with Gigantamaxing in particular, so there are some Pokemon that have different forms and stuff like that. And I'll be going over to one of my least favourites and talk about why some of these designs or some of these Gigantamax Pokemon aren't my favourite. So for number 5 is Meowth. Now, with Gigantamax Meowth, it just feels like Meowth body just stretched out. It kind of feels like the developers of the game just took Meowth and then they were like, okay, let's just make it look like a Purloin or its evolved form, but it still looks like Meowth. That kind of what it feels like to me. A Persian, I think that's his evolved form. It kind of reminds me of that, but if Meowth never evolved fully, it just kept its face, and that was it. And I feel like there could have been something added, maybe some more stuff added onto it. Maybe I kind of wished there was some more stuff added onto it, because it just feels like a very tall, a very large Meowth, and I think there could have been a lot better design Meowth for it. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this Meowth. Kind of wish there was a better design for it. For number 4 is Gigantamax Corviknight. Now with Corviknight, I do like Corviknight. It does look interesting. I think it's an interesting Pokemon, and I do like its Flying Steel type. But its Gigantamax form, it's not the best. It's the only change I can see from it is the wings. It's kind of got this sort of like redness to it, and that's, I would say, pretty much about it for Corviknight. I would say, from what I've seen. And I kind of wished maybe it leaned more into its steel typing. Maybe you could have like still maybe its wings could change color from like the sort of the black to a sort of steel kind of color. Maybe, or something more cool and interesting, because even though it's a fine looking Gigantamax form, I feel like there could have been some minor tweaks here and there, maybe. Or maybe the talons could represent the steel typing, maybe. But yeah, I would say it's fine, but I think there was some missed potential for Gigantamax Corviknight. For number 3 is Gigantamax Gengar. Now, I really like Gengar as a Pokemon. I do like its Ghost Poison typing. I do like its Mega Evolution form. But its Gigantamax form, it kind of reminds me too much of Gengar. It just looks too much like Gengar, I would say. Unlike with, let's say, Gigantamax Blastoise, it's got like, multiple cannons on its back, and I feel like that's quite cool. But with Gigantamax Gengar, it's just Gengar, but with more of a gigantic mouth. And yeah, it just feels like a giant Gengar with a giant mouth. That's all I can say for it. It looks fine. It's not my favourite. I kind of feel like there was maybe some missed potential with Gigantamax Gengar, and yeah, it's okay, I guess. I'm not a big fan. Kind of wish there was more improvements. For number 2 is Centiskorch. It's a centipede looking one. It's the fire bug type. And yeah, again, it doesn't really look great. The only thing I can think about it being changed is its underbelly. It kind of looks like something out of a heater or something, and yeah, there's not that much else I can say about it. It doesn't feel like it's changed a lot. maybe there are some changes to it, but I can't really see any. Maybe it's just I don't know why it can't just. It's hard to talk into words about how just boring and not inspired, or not inspired. Just non-changeable this form is. Just I have no words. So yeah. And for number 1 is Sandak. I think that's how you spell. I'll say the name. And for this one, it looks interesting because it's basically just Anaconda kind of wrapped about itself, and that's it. It looks fine, but again, it kind of looks what it looks like in its base form, and that's it. It just looks like what it looks like in its normal form, except different. And maybe it could have been quite interesting to see what it looks like when it's not tangled up in itself and it's not a big twirly form of itself. It would have been cool if we could have seen some of how it looked like when it's not tangled up. I would have liked to see that maybe. And then it could have looked a little bit like its pre-evolution form, maybe. So yeah, I would say overall Anaconda's Gigantamax form isn't the best. It's okay looking, but I kind of wish there was some more improvements. So yeah, so that's been my top 5 least favourite Gigantamax forms or Gigantamax Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.